and was able to win his last fight via KO. So definitely coming off a high point.
I looked for him to be very comfortable in there.
And forward in this fight, he's got Tim Elliott in his corner, James Krause in his corner. That's a lot of experience behind you.
A couple of good guys to learn from for sure. Merrick versus Collins, Kansas City Fighting Alliance 15.
Collins in the red shorts, Merrick in the black shorts. Merrick looking to clinch, but gets tagged on the way in by Collins.
Oh, good knee to the body there by Merrick. Collins working on a single leg now.
Merrick doing a nice job of defending, but just as I say that, Collins is able to take him down.
Looking for a guillotine here is Collins. Merrick looking to pass.
Collins has the hand position, but not quite the body position, although he's getting there.
This is very tight, Laura.
This is getting tighter and tighter as he spins and gets to that guard position where he'll be able to finish it. We'll see.
Merrick does a good job of passing there.
Merrick's corner, James Krause, is asking him to continue to move to his right, and just as he does that, he's able to get out of that dangerous position.
Very tough, almost impossible to finish the choke from here. Merrick is now in a very good spot.
Yeah, if anything, Collins is wearing his arm out, but his arm actually might be stuck. Sometimes it looks like you're still going for the choke, but in fact, you just can't get your hand out.
Merrick looking to get his head free here and posture up and do some damage.
Krause imploring Merrick to apply some shoulder pressure. Beautiful knees to the body.
Merrick continuing to soften up the body of Collins here. Merrick now free from that front choke. Collins does a good job of replacing. Do a scramble.
Collins very agile from his back. Merrick made a bit of a mistake there when he stood up with his feet very close together. It made it easier for Collins to take him back down. And
Collins ends up on top here, and he's landing some good stuff. .30 seconds remaining in this first round here. Merrick versus Collins.
Difficult to see from this angle, but I can only imagine that Merrick might be fishing for some sort of armbar. Seems more like Collins perhaps is maybe take a moment to breathe and so he can posture up, land a few punches, then come back down and breathe.
Merrick swiveling his hips here for an armbar.
Oh my goodness.
10 seconds left.
Excellent armbar position. Can he finish it?
Let's see if Collins can hang on.
Merrick needs to extend his hips up. Just not enough time to do it, Turner. He needed to extend his hips up, get that arm flattened out, and get the elbow in the right position in order to be able to finish that armbar.
Collins did a very good job of stacking him there and preventing him from stretching out like you had mentioned. Very good first round, action-packed. Merrick versus Collins.
It can be hard to finish a submission when you hear the bell, too, because you start to get kind of, sloppy because you're in a rush to get it, but certainly an excellent effort on his part.
Kansas City Fighting Alliance 15.
Awesome crowd tonight, by the way.
I'll tell you what, there is a lot of people here. Like we said earlier, Gales Harley-Davidson does a great job throwing the show. Kansas City Fighting Alliance is a top-notch organization. You put two companies like that together, and you can obviously look around here and see how successful it is.
It's a fun opportunity because the community is allowed to come in and take up the standing room only seat, so you really don't even have to pay to see some of these amazing fights.
Sure. Getting ready to start the second round of action here. Jared Michael Merrick versus Caleb Collins. Ooh, good exchange. Merrick may be hurt here.
Collins just rushing in wildly with some huge punches. Merrick able to weather it and sprawl.
Looks like Merrick is working a front choke here.
Difficult to, you see he's trying to roll him. It's a very difficult choke to finish unless you can roll your opponent. And the way that Collins is tripoded up or frogged up, it's very hard to do.
Merrick briefly transitions to the back and ends up in mount.
Merrick doing a very good job of listening to his corner. James Krause telling him that he needs to land a few punches first before he tries to sink in that choke. Saying, touch him up, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Back to mount here for Merrick. Landing some good shots on top. He may have a head and arm choke here on the far side. Looks like he's looking for it.
He's certainly in position for it. If he's able to, we'll see if Merrick steps over, although he needs to step to the other side.
He's past and working that head and arm now. This looks very tight. Jared Merrick. Really working hard on that head and arm, and this choke is tight, guys.
He needs to continue to flatten out and continue to work his feet to his right to tighten up that choke.
Collins doing a very good job of defending there. Merrick settling down in side control here, looking to land some punches. Merrick looking for a front choke here. You hear James Krause in his corner giving some very explicit instructions.
Merrick is doing an excellent job of listening to his corner. I mean, not often do you have a fighter who's willing to trust the corner so much that he will literally do everything he's saying.
Absolutely. Very good round turned in from Jared Merrick. Lots of action in that round, Laura, and Merrick was close to finishing a couple submissions. We'll see how Collins responds.
You could definitely see an advantage in terms of Merrick, in terms of his wrestling positioning, his ability to catch that head, catch those front chokes, transition. You know, that's something that the Glory fighters really pride themselves on, I think now. Maybe it was years ago, I think it might have been even a weakness of the gym. But in years since, they've really, really worked very hard to up their wrestling game, and you can definitely see it on display tonight, especially these young fighters.
Sure, absolutely. James Krause and Tim Elliott both very good at front chokes in their own right. I think you can see a little bit of that shining through in Merrick's game. Collins needs to respond here with a very active round.
Collins does seem pretty winded, or perhaps in pain, wincing a little bit. That's never good. That's never a good look when you're coming into a round. Merrick body clinches, looking for that takedown.
Able to shut Collins and end up on top. He's in side control here. Merrick picking up where he left off in the second round here. Merrick looking to separate here and land some hammer fists.
Collins has got to shrimp out, turn his hips, get to his knees, and stand up if he has any hope of winning this round. He really needs to get a sense of urgency about getting off of his back.
You have to wonder how much gas he has left. Spending most of the first two rounds on the ground can be very exhausting.
Extremely exhausting, and I do think that the pained look on his face coming into this round might have been, you know, gas tank more than an injury. I think as this round goes on, we'll see Merrick, you know, more and more able to employ his game, just based on the fact that I see Collins not giving up mentally, but just, you know, his gas tank seems to be really running out. And man, that's just on your back on the ground. That's a tough place for that to happen.
Sure. Merrick transitioning in the back here of Collins. Merrick landing some shots now. Attempting to get both hooks in here. Looking for a rear naked choke here is Merrick. Tough to tell from our angle how deep that choke is.
Collins needs to do everything he can to turn his right.
This choke looks very tight, and
very
that's
tight.
it. Jared Michael Merrick turning in a third round rear naked choke over Caleb Collins. Very back and forth fight from both these guys. Very, very good win for Jared Merrick.
Two minutes, 15 seconds of the second round. Your winner by submission via rear naked choke out of the red corner, Jared Michael Merrick.
Congratulations to Jared Michael Merrick. Excellent fight. I know I mentioned it several times. I'm in danger of beating a dead horse here, but I'm just really, really impressed with his ability to listen to James Krause. It was almost like James Krause was just playing a video game, and as soon as he said something, Merrick would immediately do it. You know, I think sometimes not enough credit is given to corners and how much influence they can have over a fight. Certainly a fight like that where James has a larger view. He can see what's going on. He can see what Caleb Collins is doing, the state that Caleb Collins is in. And if you trust your corner and do what they say, it's usually a pretty good idea.
Absolutely, and Merrick's ability to listen and execute the things that James Krause was asking him to do is equally impressive.